Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Clarice and I'm a student doctor in my second year, and I just wanted to talk to you today about stress in medical school, stress in real life, stress in whatever, stress as a mom. I just feel like it's just something that I want to talk about because I've been going through it. It's been quite overwhelming. The amount of work that we have during this year, it's just extremely exhausting. And I just wanted to share with you some of the coping mechanisms that I've been kind of like finding useful, and hope that somebody else finds them useful. If you have any more techniques, then just please share them with us in the comments, and that will be really useful. So I want to start off by saying the number one thing that I feel like has been working for me is to just plan, but also plan for plans to not go according to plans. Now, what I mean by this is that it's important to plan, but the majority of time, especially in my case, honestly, my plans never go exactly according to plan. And in the past, that has been a very big kind of like barrier to my achievements, because it would deter me from my what I'm focusing on. It would deter me from my disciplines and the habits that I had developed already, and I would start losing the momentum, and it would take me a while to reconvene and be able to pick up from where I left off. And it would take me quite a while, a long time, to regain those habits, those good habits, those disciplines that I need to achieve my goals. So by making sure that, knowing that you can plan but things might not go according to plan, it just puts you ahead and you're mentally prepared for any changes that might come along the way. And when those changes come, you can just pick up quite quickly. You don't have to kind of like lose control for like a month and then come back and try to catch up when you've lost so much time. So you can give yourself like some grace and maybe take a day off to cool off and then kind of pick up from where you left off. I feel like that works for me, because then I don't lose a lot of time trying to rethink or reanalyze what went on, or feeling upset, feeling sorry for myself. It just makes me keep pushing, and whenever I push through, things actually end up working very well for me. So that minimizes the level of the stress that I was actually going to be going through. So which brings me to the next point. Is just to use your time wisely. And I feel like when you make those plans and you plan for plans to not go according to plan, it's that you kind of like now appreciate every opportunity that you get to do something that kind of like propels you ahead. So what I mean is, like, sometimes I might not feel like studying, and I might just say I will do it tomorrow. And I might have a good reason. I might just be really exhausted, and I would just think that tomorrow I'm gonna give it my best, and I'm just gonna hammer it and just push through all of it and make sure that I do everything that I'm supposed to do. And then when tomorrow comes, my son might be unwell, might not give me the time or the chance to actually do what I wanted to do. And so by putting in my head that things might not work out, I can use every single opportunity that I have, every single time. I can use that wisely, and actually, if anything comes and kind of like gets in the way of my plan, it's not like all that time I've lost the opportunity to do something. So by doing that, you really maximize all the opportunities that you have. Especially for me as a mom, I have to take every single chance I get to really use that time to study or to do something productive. Otherwise, the moment is gone and I'm unlikely to get another time to recap and catch up to all those things that I've missed out. So that will be point number 2. Point number 3 will be to plan ahead. Again, it's good to plan. But what I mean about planning ahead is just so you can know how much stress you're likely to encounter in the future. So for instance, I used to be that person that would leave things last minute. I would just know that I can do it. And I used to do well. I used to perform well in school. But then it reached the level where I will be so stressed out because I didn't know how much work that was needed within such a short time until I've actually arrived to those deadlines. I've arrived really close to those deadlines and it's too late. So by planning ahead, you avoid the stress of not knowing. Because when you know how much stress you're likely to encounter by waiting to do things last minute, it actually encourages you to start a bit early, especially when you feel like you cannot take on such amount of stress. So plan ahead, see how many deadlines you have, see how much work you're expected to do in the next few months, during the academic year or during whatever business you're doing, and then see if by waiting to do them when you feel like it will be the best choice, and whether the amount of stress you're likely to encounter will be safe for you. Because I believe during that time that I waited to do things last minute, I literally lost 2 to 3 years of my lifetime because it was just too stressful. So now that I am a mom and I have responsibilities and so many things can go wrong in between, I have to really plan ahead to see if I can take on that level of risk, and therefore if I can actually manage the stress levels that are likely to come with it. Okay, so the 4th point will be to accept that I might not hit my target. So for those who know me, I pride myself to really do well in school. I used to do well in school and it used to make me feel good. It made me feel like I understood what I've studied, and it just kind of boosts my confidence, so it makes me feel like I've achieved something, especially in the academia. But right now, as I have so many responsibilities, I've had to make peace with that, the fact that I might not really hit those targets anymore, and I have to be okay with it. I might not score in the 80%. I will definitely still aim for the 70s, but if I don't hit them and I fall in the 60s, then I think I'm going to be okay with that as well, because I will know that I've aimed higher, but I've also hit the lower points that are still safe for me to progress. So I'm just going to give myself grace. I've had to learn to just remove that stress of expecting too much from me. Not that I'm settling, not that, I'm trying to be lazy or anything, but it just reduces that stress of expecting too much. And when that doesn't happen, it really upsets me. So at this particular point in my life, I've had to make peace with just accepting that I might not hit those targets. I'm very well going to try. I am going to try my best, but I will be at peace with not hitting them. I will hit some for sure, but I might not hit all of them. So I have to make peace with that so that I can reduce those stress levels of expecting too much. And the second last thing is to stop comparing myself to others. Again, this is to do with expecting so much from myself. Sometimes you feel like, I know, I'm 36, but you still have that human nature of competitiveness, and you still want to do well, and you still, you want to achieve things that other people have achieved and things like that. I know, but I have learned, or I'm trying to reprogram my mind to know that the only competition that I have is with myself. What I mean by this is that every week we get, so many lectures are being released in advance of the live lectures taking place, the ones in class. And sometimes they're like a whole bunch of lectures each week, a whole bunch of lectures, and you have to go through them. The ideal situation is for you to go through them before the live lectures take place. However, it's so hard for me to keep up. There are just too many of them, and the way I study is kind of slow. OG. Slow studying for me, slow and steady works for me, and I am just always behind. And I will end up comparing myself to others that we are in the same groups with, when they know what they're answering, when they know the answers to the questions, when they know where to find the answers, and I'm still not even anywhere near knowing what the hell we are talking about. And that kind of makes me feel not so great. So I'm having to really readjust that, because it stresses me out not knowing what we're talking about. It really does. But I've had to stop doing that. And the only way that has worked for me is to know that I have tried my best. And what I know is what I know. What I don't know, I don't know. And anytime I know I've given my best shot, I've used my time wisely, and this is the only thing, this is the only material I could cover, I feel okay about it. The only time I feel bad is when I know that I've been procrastinating and I didn't do what I was meant to do with the resources, the time that I had. That makes me feel bad. So I've learned to stop comparing myself to others. Other people might not have the same responsibilities as me, and they might have the opportunity to be able to study faster. I really take my time to be able to understand things. So I am stopping that. I have to stop it because it's really stressful, and I have to stop it. And it's been working. I've been just sticking to what I know. Again, it's just about making peace with what I can afford to know, and then leave the rest. Just leave the rest. And to round everything up, always expect the best, but plan for the worst. Because life happens. Today is the winter, tomorrow is summer. Nothing stays the same. Today you're happy, tomorrow you're sad. Nothing stays the same. So always plan for the worst, but be optimistic that everything's gonna be okay. So like if you fail your exams and you're thinking that you have to resit, please don't book vacations during the resit period, because when you really have to resit, now you have to go through the levels of stress of having to cancel your vacation. So that is double stress that you don't need. So expect the best from everything that you do, but don't forget to plan for the worst. That will be finances, that will be everyday life. Prepare for the worst, because when it hits you sometimes, it hits you really bad. So I hope those have been helpful. It's a journey. I'm still discovering. I'm still trying to better myself, but I hope those can help somebody else. And if you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time with more useful information. Thank you very much. God bless and stay safe. Bye.